I made 21 trips. I have to say that the mission of the stove team is part of that, but it's more the fun of people working together and having a good time and them learning new skills and putting out a product that they feel very, very proud of. And I feel proud that they're proud. And we went out into the countries like 80 miles away and made the stoves with the natives. They were helping us make stoves, and that was very, very fun because I realized that these natives are extremely talented in their craftsmanship. And so we would make stoves and they'd carry them home and just be so proud that they'd been a part of that, making the stoves. So we hiked and hiked and hiked, and we saw these wheelbarrows. Well, basically, the hiking was just to get up to the top of the mountain where they were getting the wood. And each day, these people had to hike that full, it was like 4 hour trip, round trip, just to get wood for that 2 or 3 days. And and it was dangerous. Dangerous from the standpoint there were lots of people ready to rob you and the whole works there. But it was that was an education because they have the wood would be basically trees 2 or 3 inches in diameter, and it doesn't. They were just the reason there was such a long hike is they had started at the city level and just kept going up the hill and cut it back. So what used to be probably a 20-minute hike now it was a 4 hour hike. I have a neat picture that I love of a mother and her older daughter and like 6 or 8 kids all bring back a couple of pieces of wood to eat or to cook that day. We had a driver and we're getting down at the bottom of the hill and there's a river that we had forged. It was not very deep. Got up there and that river was way, way high. It was torrent. And the driver said, oh, and he stood there, he was petrified. So a native came by and said, well, you can go over the top of the mountain and get out of there. Which we did. And then we got into, we're back in Mexico then, and got into the strikes of Mexico, so typical. And so we drive down the freeway, get stopped. We'd do a U-turn and go through a pasture and back to another road. And it took us all day because it strikes the whole place. So that was an interesting part of the development too. On the first trip I went on, we were up in the hills and we were making these stoves and we'd driven, it was like an 80-mile trip. It was a long trip. Got up there and we had 3 electric drills and we had to drill holes into the sheet metal and then put pop ribs in it to hook it together. Well, the first darn thing that happened is we broke all the drill bits we had, and of course we were 80 miles from any place else. And I'm working with this old guy. He's helping me, and I can't tell you how old he was. They all looked old, and I'm scratching my head and showing him what he's doing. He says, "Here," and he picks up a nail and a rock. Go do this. We do this. We do this. And we did. We spent the next 2 days uh, using a rock and a nail to make our holes.
Wow.
And right then I learned, these guys are pretty darn creative. They don't need fancy equipment.
How do you do it?
And,
Get it done.
and then we had the same thing with something else. It was all too long. The pieces. So he said, "We bend it, make it shorter."
Sure.
And I really had it. So when we had stove team members that wanted good stuff to work with, I said, no, we need to learn how the natives do it here.
Yeah.
It was a
Interesting.
good one.
Yeah, it's good.
That what really was a fun trip for me.
Yeah.
In electricity, there's 220s. There's 2 hot leads, and then there's a ground, and then there's a hot wire. So anyway, he was throwing the neutral, which is the safety fixture. So we don't need that anymore. And so anyway, we hooked up the panel, and I said, "Now what do you do?" Well, if we had a welder, we could start building the frame. So I know how to weld, and so I did. I spent the next 6 days just welding every day, and it was neat. Worked like a summer gun. In fact, everyone else went up in the field and saw the people and so forth, and a friend of mine, Mason Davis, and I would stay there and work with the people there. That was a good experience. The one story, we're going from Honduras to Guatemala in the bus, and we have everything tapped on the top of the bus, and we go through the borderline, and as we're going through the borderline, they got a railroad iron that comes up so you can go through the deal. So they motion us through, and the railroad iron catches the top of our suitcases. And well, the armed guards come out there, and they are just very vicious. They're mad at us. We wrecked their railroad iron, and they want us to pay for that. And they did. They put us to the side, and Gail Norris was the person in charge, and she was very, very talented. And they wanted a couple $1,000s to repair that thing. And they weren't going to let it go by until they got to a couple $1,000. And Gail sat at the top of the bus and looked down at him, which was kind of a smart thing to do, because then you had this superiority. And she also could speak very good Spanish, but she only spoke in English. So negotiated back and forth, and we were there for a long time. We were all on the bus and wondering what was going to happen to us. And so Gail says, I want to talk to the person in charge. Well, he's in Guatemala City. Well, we'll wait. How long is it going to be? It's going to be 6 hours. Well, we'll wait then. And so we sat there and waited. And what happened down there, we figured out, was that the guards, when they took this money, they kept it themselves. And what we figured out is coming towards the end of their shifts, and when they left, the other guards are going to get their money. So they settled for $40, and well, I would like to see more stoves built. I mean, more factories built in more areas, and of course, then we had a person each of those areas that could promote the sale of the stoves.